are at play also because you're limited in your own viewpoint.
That's right, and so there we've answered, I think, both practicality and loving, right? That in order to be healing, to accomplish healing, I need to actually heal, right? Coming from all four perspectives, and anything less is actually a loss and a failure of love, and not to be able to hold all of them together. So it's both eminently practical, right? And it's about, the integral journey of love towards healing needs to embrace and have a place, right, for all four.
I want to say a couple more things about the lower left before we move on, though, is that the interior of what's happening between us, we can describe it as an it, but we can also participate from the interior. And so a lot of what's happening in our group is a lower left phenomenon. A lot of our learning is taking place in the lower left right now, in the relational field and how we understand each other and how we feel each other. And one of the reasons that AA, with whatever success it does have, is it takes huge advantage of the lower left. Mm-hmm. It understands that human bonding, human relationship, the intersubjectivity, our energetic exchange is really, really important in terms of giving support to human beings. And that's one of its strengths, I think. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't necessarily include the entire four quadrants and really looking at all those. And that's part of why the integral view has something to really say in terms of recovery. And also, I would say the other thing is just in terms of development, that to have one of the things I would like to see in the recovery field has to do with this whole issue around who I am, that actually there's a way to develop as an addict. Mm-hmm. That you could be an addict at one level and many years later you could actually experience yourself developing, so you're not stuck in one place your whole life, that really tight container holds you as long as you need to be there, and then you're allowed to start to develop. Mm-hmm. That becomes really important. So it's a really dumb little point, and none of this is real, by the way. Everything we're talking about, there are concepts to help us navigate the territory of our awareness, right? None of it is separable. These are perspectives that we're taking. What happens to the you in the four quadrants? It's like there's an I up there, there's a we, second person, and there's an it. Where did the you go? Does everybody see that? Yeah. I see I see we, I see it and it's. What happened to you? Well, what happened to you is that Ken says that when a you is really, when you're really in second person, you becomes we. And when you're not in second person, you actually is an it. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. So that's why it disappears.
Martin Buber, I know.
Yeah, precisely.
That's exactly right.
So we talk about I, you, and it from language, but then there's this subtle little move where it becomes I, we, and it, and we want to watch what happened, because that sometimes can be confusing to people. Yeah. Do you have a question?
No, I just...
Okay.
Can you repeat what you just said about that, the you, becoming that?
Yeah. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. There are three perspectives that language gives us. I, you, and it, right? And you and I are in relationship. Right. And when we're really in relationship, and this is really a beautiful thing, because I have my experience. It is really easy to describe, right? And when we move into second person, the second person is this crazy paradox, because it's in the second person that we're both the same and we're different. So I and it are interacting, and when we communicate, we create a we, right? If we don't communicate, you stay in it. I stay in it to you. I don't actually become a we. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You guys with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we call it the miracle of we, because what happens in we is that I have an I and you have an I, and by communicating we create a we. And so the you, as long as you stay a you, you're really an object. You're really an it. So that's why he substitutes we for the word you. So, did I communicate to you?
I think that yes.
Well, go one more level and let's make sure. See, now I'm feeling the we, right? She feels it slightly, but she still has a deeper question. So let's get to the point where it's like a full-on we, and we're really together in it.
The we is this space.
Yeah. Yeah.
The you is here from. This is the you.
Exactly.
Yep. This is the we.
Yes, that's right. And the we is created.
There's no, without you over there's no we here.
Exactly. Exactly. And without you listening to me, receiving me, finding commonality with me, there's no we. As long as I'm an other, I'm an it. I'm a you.
And so its of it is all this space right here with everybody listening to this.
Yeah, unless we decide we want
Unless
to
we're
include them.
so.
And if we
think we're all-
include them, then this whole thing becomes a we.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, got
You-
it?
I don't even
Got
think you
it.
get to
No.
decide whether you're including us. I think we include ourselves.
Well, what if I decide I want to stay separate?
You don't necessarily have that choice, do you?
Well, I think
In her
I do.
space, you
For
don't.
her,
I think so.
it's-
I think,
Well, I
it's
mean,
that way,
not,
but for
not
us,
and
it's
continue
not.
to not and continue to communicate.
right, you, in other words,
Yeah.
I think you're correct that we can all expand to include each other, but we seem to have the autonomy to decide we want to stay separate. And even if you want to include me, I can say, you're an it to me, I'm not going to let you.
A healthy ego could do that.
Yeah.
And here's one of the places where
People are getting excited, I like that. Go ahead.
you don't have to stay kind of, and as a theory is not, and I think one
It's
of
not
the
fixed, yeah.
one of the weaknesses of integral theory, and as we evolve it, is I think you should be there. And I think there's a reason why Martin Buber actually kept I and thou and didn't use we. And I think that's actually a mistake. One of the integral theory's weakest in its we space. Right? And the reason that Martin Buber didn't go and call it a we is because a we doesn't distinguish between, is it fusion? Is it a kind of totalitarian we? Right?
Yeah.
What's the interior of the
Yeah.
we? Or is the we a kind of union, a kind of integral union? The we doesn't actually give you that answer. I and thou, which is why Buber actually entertained the possibility of a we and didn't use the word. Right, what Buber was saying is that actually in I and thou, right, actually we've created a we space, but that we space retains, right, the integrity of I and thou. And so again, these are actually these are fine points that'll actually which will evolve
I
and
agree.
work themselves out. You know what I mean?
There's
You know
a we now.
Right.
That's a we. You were
I,
it a while ago, now I'm letting you back in.
I just really
Said-
agree with that, Mark. Like I feel like the I thou is such an important differentiation.
Right.
And I don't know how it's going to work out, but I'm
Right. Or-
excited about the idea of the you, the I thou coming into the we thing.
Somehow holding it in
Yeah.
there somehow.
Yeah. No.
Or is it really that there's two different flavors of we?
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
that's a nice way to say it
That's
also.
right.
Uh-huh.
Two comments, and I'm going to move us into big mind.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I think you may have just answered it, but I was missing the we in the three faces of God. I was thinking, I am God as I, and you are God as you, and it is God as it. But so I was thinking, why isn't there a we co-creator, like you and me are both making this universe happen? So I was missing the we in the three, and liking it in the four.
I got you. Well, I think you should keep it that way. I
Keep
think you should-
missing the we in the
No. I think for you, I think the four faces of God has a lot of meaning, and I think you should keep working with the four faces.
Okay.
So the three faces, the way we do it, is I am, right? Second person, I, thou, or we. Without communication with God, what good is it?
Okay.
It's God in third person if there's no communication. So that's the emphasis in second person is in the exchange, that when I pray, I'm received, and that I actually can receive back from God. It's in the giving and receiving that creates the second person. If God is a you or a thou, an it that's completely mysterious and other, we've moved into third. Does everybody see that?
And what's the fourth one?
She was making a distinction between you and we. How did you understand?
Co-creating.
Yeah, I suddenly was thinking the three missed a co-creating, that I'm creating and God is creating both. But you just really, you explained it, it's
in the
all.
you.
There-
That's in
there's-
second.
we could go deeper in it, but I think let's
Okay.
there's
Yeah,
a
we'll
lot,
leave it.
let's leave there's some important things
We're
to say,
going to
but
do it
let's go to
tomorrow.
big Mike.
We're going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do some this afternoon. Let's
Jason's been patient. So
Please.
we can do this.
Oh no, that's kind of my question, so it's fine.
And we're gonna actually do a whole meditation on the three faces tomorrow, so I think it'll help, okay? And Big Mind is gonna help clarify a lot, yeah.
A couple of things. One is I've heard Ken talk a lot about like in the upper left, like I is like the plural of I is we, and it kind of creates a paradox and conundrum with thou interaction becomes a we as well. So I don't know if that has a place in all of
Right.
that. And also when you were having your interaction with John, the thing that came up for me is the phenomenon of feeling alone in a room full of people.
Yeah, totally, of course, the separate self.
And along with the three perspectives, I'm familiar with a model to be put out, I'm sure in many other places, but I saw recently in integral spirituality, which is the